I'm glad that we're here promoting something that can help heal children.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and thank you for even being here because it's so related. The child trafficking and then the transgender movement.
Right.
To me, it's all child abuse.
Absolutely. And they've got a bill in California that a 12-year-old can now emancipate
Oh my God.
themselves
At 12?
at 12 years
Wow.
old if
Oh
they
my
feel like they're, I believe it's if they feel like if they're a different gender.
Yeah.
So then they could take that child and put him into foster care.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Pastor and Wife podcast, and we are here with Adam Vena. So, Adam, can you introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, my name is Adam Vena. Basically, I'm a father fighting for my 7-year-old son's gender identity.
Yeah.
He started to get transitioned at 2 years old by his mother. And
Wow.
I haven't had custody of him in 4 years. They stripped me of custody of Aiden, and I haven't seen Aiden personally in probably 2.5 years now.
Wow, that's
So-
painful.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's been a wild 4 years.
Yeah. So, man, so that hits close to home, what's happening. And it's funny how we're running into similar people with similar backgrounds and similar struggles and fights here at this conference. So, Adam, why are you here?
I'm here, to support what they've got going on here. I think what they're doing is putting their words to actions. A lot of people, seem to really want to help, but then they never completely act on it.
Yeah.
And it looks like this church is really putting the actions to its words.
Yeah.
And they're going to save a lot of kids, and I think that's huge.
Amen, brother.
Some of the most vulnerable people in the world are our kids.
Yeah.
And people are taking advantage of that, but we've got an organization here that is willing to step up and protect the most innocent.
Yeah, we just found out we're kind of neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't tell exactly where we live, but in Southern California, we don't live far from each other, and it's good to have allies.
Yeah, absolutely, especially
Yeah.
coming from SoCal area where we're at. It's good to have like-minded people and everything like that. So it's good.
Yeah.
You don't feel so alone, with some of your beliefs.
This is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So going back to your situation with your son, a lot of people don't realize that this is actually happening.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of pastors are afraid to talk about it. We're not. We've lost 2 buildings because we talk about this stuff, overtly. So, what would you say to pastors and spiritual leaders that are afraid to talk about this kind of thing?
Well, I think it's the church obligation to talk about this type of stuff. We're brainwashing generations of children to believe that they were born in the wrong body. God didn't make a mistake when they made you. You were either born a boy or a girl.
Yes.
We've been living with 2 genders for the last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
Since Adam and Eve. God made man and woman. He didn't make 75 different genders like they predict to be. But I think it's a vital role for the church to speak about these things. My father was a pastor. He always preached that churches don't need 4 walls.
Yeah.
And to get out into the community more.
Yes.
And I really believe, I want the churches to speak more heavily about what they are doing to the kids, not only from trafficking or sex trafficking or anything like that, but what they're teaching in schools to our kids, what's happening in the family court system, what's happening, in general to these kids and to parents. It's a vital role for the church now, more time than ever to be extremely vocal about what's going on.
Absolutely agree.
Well, I love that do you go around and speak and...
I've been on a whirlwind,
Wow.
crazy couple years.
Yeah.
I've flown pretty much all over the United States,
Yeah.
speaking about what they're doing to my son. I've spoken at AmFest.
Yeah, nice.
2 years in a row now.
Yeah.
They messed with I like to say they messed with the wrong father.
Yeah, come on.
I don't. When it comes to something like this, I'm very vocal about
Yeah.
it. I might not be vocal in the right ways about it,
Sure.
but I'm definitely not going to have my son destroyed.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not going to have my son chemically castrated, because that's the next pathway.
Wow. That's permanent.
And that, as we all know,
Yeah.
puberty blockers is permanent.
Wow.
So tell us your story about all that.
So my son Aiden is now 7 years old. He'll turn 7 on the 25th of this month. So it's been a rough month with Father's Day and his birthday coming up. But I basically started making good morning videos to my son in the cab of my truck, not knowing if he would ever see them. So I would sit there and say, hey, in my phone, hey, good morning, buddy. It's Dad. It's Friday. Normally we would have pizza night on Friday night. Here's a couple great movies that, I think you guys should watch. And I did that consistently for 4 years, because Aiden was a normal, typical little boy. He'd like to do the normal little boy things.
Yeah.
And on his second birthday is when I received the first text message of him in a pink dress. And I sent a text message out to her saying, he's a boy, not a girl. Quit doing this to my son.
Yeah.
I had thought it had stopped. And on Aiden's third birthday, I had custody of him at the time. We were having a great day.
Yeah.
And we were potty training him at the time. He said, Dad, I got to go to the bathroom. I said, great. Do you want help, or do you want to do it by yourself? He said, no, I want to do it myself. I said,
Okay.
Perfect.
Nice.
So he went to the bathroom. He came out, said, I need help washing my hands. We washed his hands. And as we were leaving the restroom, he said, Daddy, Mommy bought me a pink dress. And the way I'm going to tell you guys, and I'm going to tell your followers, is that I got down on one knee. I looked him in the eye. I said, hey, buddy, you're a boy, and boys don't wear dresses.
Amen.
And we left it. He said, okay, Daddy. We left it at that. 2 days later, I was hot. I was angry.
Yeah.
And I sent out a bunch of text messages to his mom. And none of those text messages were there threats, I'm going to kidnap him. No threats of, I'm going to come beat you up. No, nothing like that. It was basically, he's a boy, not a girl. Quit effing doing this to my son.
Right.
And she was able to get a temporary restraining order put on me.
Because of the text messages?
Because of the text
and there was
messages.
no overt threats or anything?
No.
You were just angry.
I was just angry. So the system has once that temporary restraining order went into place, I was completely cut out of my son's life. I was only allowed 2 FaceTime conversations with him a week. I could not talk about his attire. My son would have earrings in his ear.
Yeah.
He would have makeup on. He would have his fingernails polished. And me as a father, I was not allowed to say anything about that.
Whoa.
If I did say something about it, it would be a violation.
On what basis?
Gender affirming. We don't want to confuse him.
Wow. It seems like they're the ones confusing
Yes, sir.
you.
Yes.
Wow.
So the judge out of Pasadena ordered a gender assessment to be done on my 4-year-old son at the time.
Wow.
At Children's Hospital of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I wanted to sit in on the assessment. They denied me that.
Oh, no.
I went as far as hiring my own therapist to sit in on the assessment. That was denied.
Whoa.
I also asked for a phone call from the doctor, and that was denied. So in the last 5 years, Children's Hospital of Los Angeles has not reached out to me, the father, to ask me what I think is going on with my son.
Oh, my gosh.
The gender assessment was 90 minutes long. He spoke 5 minutes, and she spoke the rest of the time.
Oh, my gosh.
His mother?
His mother. So I have not had time. We all know that when you're sick, you go to the doctor and they treat you A, B, C, D, Z. Whatever your sickness is, they try to cure you. They don't go from A to Z.
Right, correct.
With whatever's going on with
Yes.
you. But with my son, they went from A to Z. So my son, at 4 years old, he went by a girl's name, Luna. Luna is a very famous transgender book for kids, and the main character in that book is Luna. I'm not the only father whose kid goes by that name of Luna.
Okay, okay.
There's another father out of Texas. His name is Jeff Younger. About 3 months ago, the court just ordered to strip Jeff of all of his father's rights.
Whoa.
And they are now starting to basically chemically castrate his 12-year-old son.
It sounds like they're trying to make an example of
Yeah.
these families,
Yeah.
of your family.
Yeah. In my personal opinion, it's because I'm a conservative Christian
Yes.
male.
Yes.
And they don't like that.
White.
Yeah.
White too.
Yeah, you have to add that.
Yeah. And I've spoken in the last 4 years, maybe 2 years. I've spoken to a ton of fathers that this is going through.
Wow.
They're stripping these fathers of we've got Jeff, who's the most vocal about all this. Myself. We've got Harrison Tinsley up here in this area. We've got another guy named Pat out of Illinois. We've got a father in Colorado who lost custody of his kid. We've got a whole, it's not just an isolated incident, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah.
It's way more broad than that. And it's even more broad, even what they're doing to the kids in schools. The brainwashing that's happening to the kids in schools.
Right.
You know.
So it doesn't matter what state you're in, there are people there that want to confuse your children.
That's the way it's looking.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bills, and I'm only speaking for California because that's where I reside, and I know California has passed some of the most horrendous anti-parent bills that we know of. I mean, we've got SB 107 that made California a transgender sanctuary state.
Yes.
So if a child is wanting to become the opposite sex, and their state has banned it, they can come to California because of SB 107, and get taxpayer-funded gender surgeries and puberty blockers. And I'll just let you know, Lupron is the #1 puberty blocker that they should prescribe to kids. Lupron was originally for chemically castrating inmates, pedophiles in jail.
Whoa.
Lupron is $43,000.
Wow.
$43,000.
And that's taxpayer
That's
funded.
taxpayer funded. So just because you think, oh, this can never happen to me, or I'm not gonna. No matter what, you're paying for it.
Yeah.
You're paying, whether you like it or not. You're paying for it because a lot of this transgender stuff that is done now, they've banned it. So we'll see how far it goes from there. Children's Hospital just shut down their gender clinic.
Amen. I just saw that on X. Yeah.
That was for Medi-Cal.
Okay.
Basically for the poor people.
Yeah.
But that's still not. I have private insurance.
Yeah.
So it's still happening to my son.
I see.
If I cut Aiden off of my insurance, it's court ordered, and I could face jail time because I cut him off of my health insurance.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Wow, that's a hard spot to be in.
That is terrible.
Because as much as I'm out here speaking out against what they're doing to my kid, I'm still funding it.
Yeah.
I'm funding it through my child support, and I'm funding it through my health insurance.
Oh, yeah.
And my taxes.
Yeah.
And your guys' taxes.
And ours, yeah. Wow. And that's why, I've been to Pomona School Board, Chino Valley, Huntington Beach, Temecula. We have kindred spirits because, I can't stand it.
Right.
I can't stand what's happening to you. If it happened to any one of our sons, I would be livid as well,
Right.
And I'm glad that we're here promoting something that can help heal children.
Yeah.
And thank you for even being here because it's so related. The child trafficking and then the transgender movement.
Right.
To me, it's all child abuse.
Absolutely. And they've got a bill in California that a 12-year-old can now emancipate themselves.
At 12?
At 12 years old. If they feel like I believe it's if they feel like if they're a different gender.
Yeah.
So then they could take that child and put him into foster care. Now, what's foster care?
Yeah.
State-run facilities. Those are, some of the big, trafficking and
That's right.
and everything like that. So and the parents will never know. We've got a mom. There was a mother in our area who lost her kid. They because it was the child felt it was a different gender. They put him in a state-run facility, which they didn't treat the mental illness. They just affirmed, and then the daughter ended up committing suicide.
Oh no.
Wow.
Because they put her into a state-run facility.
Right.
So what can we do? I mean, people watching, people who are just hearing your story, what do you think is the best thing that we can do?
I wish I could say vote these people out.
Yeah.
But we've got people like Scott Wiener, who is the author, and of a lot of these anti-parent bills.
Yes.
We need some some of these people just need to leave. You know,
Yeah,
we need
yeah.
to get some common sense back into the state of California.
Right.
It just seems like they're voting or they're writing bills on just feelings and emotions. And you can't run a country or you can't run a state on feelings and emotions. You have
That's
to
right.
you have to run a state on facts. And the facts are that gender affirming care is harmful to kids.
Yeah.
And we're going to lose a whole generation of children if we start telling them that they were born in the wrong body, which they weren't.
They weren't. Yeah.
You know.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know how to help me. Jeff Younger's $1.5 million into saving his son,
Okay.
and he didn't get anywhere with
Right.
it. He had some of the top medical professionals testify in his court case,
Yeah.
and they still ruled against him.
Okay.
And
he's in Texas.
Yeah, he's in Texas, but his kids are in California.
Are in California.
Yeah, because she basically medically kidnapped her 2 boys
And brought him here?
brought them here because of
Oh.
SB 107, which is the
gosh.
transgender sanctuary bill.
Yeah.
I tell everybody I could have Elon Musk money,
Yeah.
and I don't think it would have changed the outcome
Gotcha.
in the family court system.
Gotcha.
And it's a shame. I guess prayers. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems to me there needs to be a cultural shift, right? Where the general public does not like what's happening.
Yes, I think a lot of majority of Californians. Again, I'm just speaking on behalf of California because that's where I'm. I think Californians don't like what's happening.
Yeah.
But we've got 4 cities that are making the decisions for the rest of the state.
Yeah.
We've got San Diego, LA, San Francisco, and Sacramento.
Right.
The most densely populated cities that make the decisions for the rest of the country.
Right.
But I think majority of Californians don't want this type of stuff to happen.
Yeah.
But we've got bad apples in
We
the
do.
seats, and they're destroying our children.
Yeah,
They're
definitely.
absolutely destroying them.
Definitely. Okay, I got one more question for you.
Yeah.
Man, so how can faith leaders help? Because that's the area we're in, and we've been doing it for years. We've been outspoken about the things we've been
Right.
talking about. But what would you say? Because your dad's was a pastor.
Yeah.
What would you say to them? What appeal would you give to them to help what we're going through here?
These are God's kids.
Yeah.
If you're a Christian
Yeah.
or a church leader, these are God's kids. You know, and you have done. Sorry, I apologize, but you guys
Go
have
ahead.
done absolutely nothing.
Preach
stand-
it. Preach it.
You guys have done absolutely zero to stand up and say. You sit behind the pulpit.
Yeah.
You receive the money,
You're right. Right.
but you don't go out. There's no reason that a church needs to be 5,000 people.
Yeah. I see what you're
There's
saying.
there's no reason for
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
When churches first started, they were very, very small.
Yeah.
Very small, and the Christians were out in the community.
Yeah.
You look at the Mormons. Mormons are riding bikes all over the
Yeah.
place.
Yeah. That's true.
You've
That's
got
true.
Jehovah Witnesses.
That's true.
Knocking
Yeah.
on doors every single day, but the Christians stay behind the walls.
Yeah.
And it's time for the churches, the people that are behind the walls, to go out
Right.
outside.
Yeah.
Have a church service at your house.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't need to be 5,000 people.
Because that's the excuse, right? We got a mortgage, we got bills to pay. And
Right.
we can't go out there because
Right.
it's too
And-
controversial. We'll lose members.
And churches need to get. Churches, I believe, need to get rid of their tax exemption.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're held with that tax exemption. They're silencing themselves from actually doing the work that they're supposed
I
to be
feel
doing.
you.
You know,
We violate ours all the time.
right, and that's great. You know, but
Yeah.
But I don't know what the statistic is. There was like 50,000 churches, maybe more, in the state
Yeah.
of California.
Yeah.
And there's only a very small handful of churches that are actually
Yeah.
getting back out into the community.
Right. I
And
can tell
that's
you-
where the church needs to be, is in the community.
100%. I can tell you this. I'm the only pastor at these school board meetings. You know, and they bring in these woke pastors from like different areas.
Right.
And I try to debate them. They say no. They refuse because I have my phone out. You know.
Right.
But you're right. Like, there's a conservative church with 5,000 people near us, and I'm like, where are the pastors? Bring 100 men
Right.
to these
That's
school
a small
board meetings.
fraction of their church.
Our church is very small.
Right. And I think that's, again,
Half of the guys go.
I was born and raised in a small church.
Yeah.
You know, the churches I went to were not big at all.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just amazing to see, you know, when you got a $5 million building.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like that $5 million could have gone, could have gone to donating to something like this,
like
a smaller
this.
church.
Yes.
You could have donated that tithe.
Yeah.
That tithe money that you're receiving and given it to something like this. If all the churches were to donate to something like this, it would.
Yeah.
It would
pay for the facility.
It would pay for the facility and then some.
And then some, yeah. And
If
the
they
kids
take
would be healed.
Right.
Yeah.
And once the building opened up for these kids, the churches still continue to give a portion of that tithe.
Yeah.
You know, to this organization. And that way you have top-notch everything for when these kids do get pulled out of these situations that they're in.
Yeah.
Now you're able to give them the top-notch, care that these kids are going to need for however long they're going to need it for.
Yeah.
You know.
Even this could go further. Like, let's say your son, when he gets older, realizes this is all a sham.
Right.
There's those resources that can help him get back on track.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's if I don't, to be honest with you guys, I don't plan on seeing my son Aiden until he's 18.
Right.
I haven't completely committed to that line of thinking.
Yeah.
It's.
Well, it's kind of like you have to manage your expectations, and
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
Right.
That's true.
The chips are stacked against me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time, especially being in California.
Right.
But yes, it's going to take a lot of therapy.
Yes.
To reverse the damage that's been done to that little boy.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't come down to the medications, that kind of stuff. Because once that happens, then, it's...
Right. Who knows what's the outcome?
I mean, the puberty blockers does brain damage, bone loss, loss of puberty. I mean, Jeff Finger says it all the time, puberty is a human right.
Yeah, it's a human right. Yeah.
And we're denying these kids a human right to go through puberty. We all went through it.
Yeah.
And if people don't think that blocking somebody's puberty at 12 years old is not wrong, then it's crazy.
It is.
Yeah.
We agree. Well, Adam, we are for you.
Thank you.
We're pastors that whenever someone like you comes to us, we want to get the signal out. We want to get their message out. And, I'm not afraid. If it's time to go to a school board, it's time to...
Yeah. We'll exchange
there.
numbers. If I get off work, I'll go to a school board meeting.
Yeah, let's do it, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for... Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to, do you have any social media or anything you want people to...
I do. I post a lot on my social media. It's basically real easy. My first and last name, Adam.Vena.
Okay.
My last name is spelled Vena. And I don't like being the center of attention. I don't like the limelight, but I do post.
Well, that's not what it's about. But it's important.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is. Again, they messed with the wrong father.
Yeah.
Amen, brother. Amen.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Definitely, we're gonna boost your message, and we're gonna find other dads like you, and we're gonna make a difference.
You need more Papa Bears to start getting out there.
There you go. Let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. Catch you later. Dude, Adam, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. That was fun.